What's up, everyone? One more day here with another episode of the Show Rig on Fire. Today we are gonna take a look at this bad boy here, the Flamma Cab Impulse Response Loader. Before we go any further, let me say again, I know, I'm always say that, but this is not my first channel, my biggest channel. It's from my audience in Brazil because I'm from Brazil, but I live here in the United States. So I have another channel where I used to do the demos and the videos in Portuguese. So if you're from Brazil, don't sweat it, there is a link for the same video in Portuguese, okay? And if you're new on this channel, please subscribe. It's gonna be awesome if you can support this little channel, because I started this channel because I live here in US and I think it makes sense, right? So let's go to the video and talking about the Cab FS07 from Flamma FX. Actually, it's Flamma Innovations, not Flamma FX. This is a stereo in and out impulse response loader. And besides the plugins, I'm not aware about any other impulse response loader, physical impulse response loader, stereo in and out. That means you can load two different pedals or two different preamps inside the pedal. So at the end of the day, you're going to have the possibility to load two different impulse response with two different preamps or pedals. And there is more nice features here. It's super simple. You're going to have 11 impulse response that came from the factory. I have to say it's kind of okay impulse responses, but on the demo video I'm going to show you my impulse response that is available on the Electric EI Audio Digital Store, link on the description. So as I said, you can load third-party impulse response and you will be able to save 7 different presets inside the thing. The foot switch has 2 different functions. The first function is just a bypass and turn on the pedal, and the second function is going to be change the programs. The pedal has level, the selection of the impulse response on the middle knob, and you're going to have a latency for the 2 different impulse response. This is awesome because you can make sounds like 2 different guitars. It's a distance of a little short delay between 0 up to 25 milliseconds. This is a very clever and good idea on the pedal. And you're going to have a low pass filter and a high pass filter that allows you to cut the high frequencies and set a little better the low frequencies. And you can program the pedal by USB on the editor that I'm going to show you on the following video. And you're going to have this A, B, and save button here that allows you to swap between those 2 impulse response that you're going to have inside the pedal, or 1 impulse response. You can put the same impulse response for A and B and work with the latency to have a very open stereo image, or you can put, as I said, 2 different impulse responses and can swap between A and B. Well, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use my Solar BLB with the Duncan Solar pickups, straight inside 3 pedals, as you can see on the image. Tube screamer. Tube screamer goes inside the MT2 metal zone, and after the metal zone goes to the Ceres from Rhodes amplification, and the Rhodes amplification goes inside the Flamma F07. I'm not going to use in stereo 2 different preamps or 2 different pedals, but always going to use the stereo output directly inside my audio interface. Sometimes I'm going to use the same cab and see the stereo image that pedal can do, and sometimes I'm going to use the factory impulse responses, and sometimes I'm going to use different impulse response from the Electric EI Audio and see what happens. The tube screamer I'm going to use for some solos, maybe a couple of times into the series, and the metal zone I'm going to use sometimes just to show you those impulse response here that was made to work perfectly with the metal zone. And sometimes I'm going to use the series with another impulse responses. because I think it's cool have a different textures and tones on this video. Well, let's do it. Well, as you were able to listen, it's super cool, super nice pedal. It's very clever idea, that stereo and the latence feature. For the studio it's awesome. If you don't have lots of different cabs and microphones, it's an awesome tool in the studio. But live it's cool as well because you can load one amplifier without impulse response and the other output you can address into the mix console live with impulse response. And this is a very good idea. Well guys, I think that's it. Check my stuff on those digital platforms here, my last album, and the link for Electric Eye Audio to check those impulse responses, it's on the link on the description. And I think that's it. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, see you next time. I'm out.